Hello everyone, today I'll be making the Dole Whip and the Dole Whip float. For it, I will be using our Dole brand pineapple flavored soft serve mix. Some of you may remember that I made 2 homemade versions of Dole Whip, and I was pretty unsatisfied with them because I was like, that doesn't really taste like the Dole Whip at all. So I decided I'm just gonna get the mix and I'm gonna make it with the mix. And I think it'll turn out a lot better this time and it'll taste like what you get at Disneyland. Now we are going to add 1 cup of our dry mix to a bowl. And as you can see, it's very light. It kind of came out of the bowl a little bit, but I'm sure it's fine. Now we're going to add 1.5 cups of very cold water. I just put it in the freezer for around an hour, and it almost froze solid because as I was pouring it, it started to partially freeze. But that is what we want. We want it to be very cold. And we're just going to whisk this together very thoroughly. And now we're also going to measure out 1/2 cup of milk. This will give it a bit, or 1 1/2 cup rather. I'm going to turn it around. And this will give it some extra richness, which is what you want for the Dole Whip. Because I'm sure you could just make it with the water, which will make it vegan. But this will add a little bit of extra richness and creamy flavor. And there we go, that's enough milk. I actually accidentally added a little bit too much. But there we go. And now we're just going to whisk this in. And there we go. It's very rich and delicious. And now we're going to add it to our ice cream maker. Alright, now we're going to drizzle this into our ice cream maker. We're going to want to do this fairly slow. Sort of like that. Just an even speed. And it's going to slowly start to freeze up. There we go. That's all of our mix. Let's just go ahead and use our spatula to scrape it in. There we go. That is all of our mixture in. So now we're just going to let it churn for around half an hour. I just put the lid on and we're going to wait half an hour or so for it to thicken up into our soft serve. But as you can see, the edges are starting to freeze. And basically what's happening is the blades or the plastic parts on the side are scraping the frozen mixture off of our ice cream maker, and it's going to keep doing that and spinning around, and eventually it's going to form a soft serve texture. Alright, it has been half an hour now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And now we're just going to go ahead and also we're going to want to remove our lid. It is a little bit stuck on here, but there we go. So we're just going to set that off to the side. And then here is what we are using to mix it with. It's really thick now. It almost reminds me of the texture of like ice cream or gelato. And I'm just going to go ahead and use our spoon here. And we're going to want to scrape all of our delicious Dole Whip off of this so that we can go ahead and transfer it to our piping bag. We don't want to lose any on here because as you can see, it's very thick. It actually, now as I'm scraping it, it almost reminds me of the texture of like gelato almost, practically, which is very thick Italian ice cream. But that's good enough. I'm just going to go ahead and set it down on our plate. And now we're just going to go ahead and transfer some to our piping bag. So I'm just going to go ahead and use our tablespoon and just kind of plop it in. And you're just going to want to kind of shake it up and down so it goes to the bottom. As we add more of our Dole Whip mixture, it'll also sort of take it down, also known as gravity. As you can see, we just kind of want to let that slide down. I'm just going to go ahead and keep scooping. And I think I'm going to use our spoon just to push our Dole Whip down, because as you can see, it is very thick, but that does come with its consequences, as it is very, very sticky. But there we go. I think that should probably be enough for our use, because we don't want to overfill it, as it will make it very difficult to pipe. I'm just going to get 1 more spoonful. There we go. That is good enough now. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to want to pull our piping bag up. And as you can see, I folded it over to make it easier. So now that it is pulled up, we're just going to go ahead and use our hands and we're going to twist it around like this. Alright, that is going very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to transfer it to our bowl now. And we're just going to want to swirl this around. And in case you're wondering, I did decide to chill our bowl in the refrigerator so that it melts more slowly. And there we go, we're definitely getting our signature Dole Whip swirl. I'm just gonna go ahead though and twist it a little bit more. And there we go. There is our Dole Whip. And now I'm gonna get ready and I'm gonna start assembling our Dole Whip float. So we have our chill glass, and I'm just gonna go ahead and open our pineapple juice, which is also chilled. I just decided to use the Dole brand. And I'm not gonna want to fill it up too much. Like, honestly, that's probably maybe a little bit enough juice. Is we don't want too much, is we do want our ice cream to float in it, but we don't want our ice cream to completely melt. And that probably is good enough, because I generally like lots of Dole Whip. And now we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna twist our bag around, and we're gonna go ahead and just pipe it directly into here. And as you can see, it's kind of floating on top, but that's what you want. And there we go. There's our Dole Whip float. Alright, I've made the final touches and it's time to try our Dole Whip now. As you can see, here's our first one that I piped into a bowl. It's very soft and delicate, just like a Dole Whip should be. Let's see how it tastes to the real thing. Oh yeah, and very fluffy, and very pineapple-y, and it reminds me exactly of a Dole Whip. Alright, to compare it to the real thing, how does it taste different? I'd say it's probably like a 99 out of 100. It's very, very similar. Has a strong pineapple taste. It's very fluffy. Only thing I can tell is I can slightly tell that it was made with milk. Almost has a hint of a creaminess flavor, but nothing overwhelming, just like the real thing. However, the real thing is dairy-free. But anyways, let's just go ahead and try a pineapple float now. So I got some of our pineapple juice. Let's try it with the Dole Whip now. Oh yeah, that reminds me of the real Dole Whip float. Exactly. Because I'm sure they do use the Dole pineapple juice. That's what I was guessing. I guessed correctly. It tastes exactly like a Dole Whip float. Brings me right back to Disneyland. So it's really nice. It's almost like I have Disneyland at my house. Overall, I have to really enjoy it. So I give our first Dole Whip just by itself a 10 out of 10, along with our Dole Whip drink, and also getting a 10 out of 10. And you know that, guys, it's very, very rare that I give something a 10, because this turned out exactly as I expected, maybe even better. So I really do recommend that you buy that Dole Whip mix. I just got it on Amazon, and I definitely think it's worth your money. Make sure if you enjoyed this video to hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.